Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will study Griffith theory of brittle fracture. In the previous video, we have seen that there is a discrepancy between observed fracture strength of crystals and theoretical cohesive strength value. Griffith was the first person to explain the discrepancy between the two fracture strength values, and he came up with the theory for perfectly brittle materials such as glass. He proposed that a brittle material contain a population of fine cracks. If we see this particular material, there is no crack in this. So the stress lines or the flow lines are vertical. However, if we have a crack in a material, in that case, the stress lines get concentrated at the crack tip and the stress value locally can reach to theoretical cohesive strength even when the nominal stress that is applied on the material is lower than the theoretical value. So if the stress that is applied on the material is sigma, then the localized stress value at the crack tip can reach theoretical cohesive strength value. Now the question is, if the crack is present in the material, what drives its propagation? Which energy decreases for the crack to propagate? So the energy which decreases for crack propagation is mechanical energy. The decrease in mechanical energy can be written as minus pi times square of sigma times square of crack length, half crack length, multiplied by thickness of the specimen divided by Young's modulus of the specimen. So the details of this equation is in continuum mechanics. We will not go into the details of this equation here. Here the sigma, we can see it's the nominal stress that is applied on the material. 2a is the crack length and a is the half crack length. B is the thickness of the plate and E is the Young's modulus of the plate. So if there is an increase in stress, there is a greater decrease in mechanical energy because of the negative sign that is present. If there is an increase in crack length and thickness of the specimen, again there is a greater decrease in mechanical energy of the specimen. Mechanical energy, and if there is a rise in elastic modulus of the specimen, then there is a smaller decrease in mechanical energy when the crack propagates. So this shows that if we apply a smaller stress, a feeble stress on the material, there is a decrease in mechanical energy, and the application of smaller stress can result in the fracture of the material. But in reality, if we see in our paper experiment, we can take a piece of paper and put a crack at the center of the paper. Now we apply tensile load at the edges of the paper to pull the paper, to tear the paper apart. First of all, we apply a very small stress. We can see that the paper do not tear apart. However, upon further application of stress, and once the stress reaches its critical value and goes beyond the critical value, the paper will be torn apart. So the question is, if there is a reduction in mechanical energy of the system, then why does not a crack propagate even at very small stress? This is because Griffith realized that mechanical energy is one aspect of the energy. The other aspect is surface energy. So if gamma is surface energy per unit area of each fracture surface, then the crack, we know the crack has two fracture surfaces, and if it propagates, again it has two fracture surfaces. So the change in surface energy will be 2 represents the two fracture surfaces. Gamma is the surface energy per unit area. 2A is the crack length and B is the thickness of the crack. So this will be 4AB gamma and it is positive. Now if we write the total energy when the difference in total energy when the crack propagates, this will be sum of mechanical energy and surface energy. And the mechanical energy, as we know, we can write minus pi sigma square A square B by E. Surface energy is 4AB gamma. And if we plot this total energy versus crack length, then we can see with the rise in crack length, the surface energy has linear relation while the mechanical energy has parabolic relation. Initially, the mechanical energy is negligible. In that case, the surface energy has the total energy has the same slope as that of the surface energy, and with rise in crack length, with increase in crack length, the mechanical energy, which has parabolic relation, it will pull the curve of total energy down, and this is the maximum of total energy. This occurs at a critical value of crack length. Now to determine the critical value of crack length, we can take the slope, that is dut by dA equal to 0, and this we can write as d by dA equal 4AB gamma minus pi sigma square A square B by E, and that is equal to 0. So this will be 4B gamma minus pi sigma square 2AB by E equal to 0. This is B. 2 gamma equal to pi sigma square A by E, and this will be sigma equal to 2 gamma E upon pi A to the power half, because it's the critical crack length. Sigma will be fracture strength. So this is the fracture strength formula given by Griffith. So the Griffith equation is this one, and the Griffith theory states that the crack will propagate when the decrease in elastic strain energy or mechanical energy is greater than the energy required to create the new crack surface. Hope you like the video. See you in next video. Goodbye. Enjoy your day.